Hello, this is Enrique from dnsimple. Today I'm going to walk you through a dnsimple-elixir API client and how you can use it to automate your domain management by showing you how to register a domain programmatically. I will do this in our sandbox environment where you can play with our API at no cost. The sandbox environment behaves, with a few exceptions, exactly as our production environment. Let's Encrypt certificates cannot be issued in the sandbox environment, nor will the domains you register be registered for real. You don't need to worry about spending any money while using our sandbox environment though, as this is all pretend. If at any time during this video you want to check dnsimple out for yourself, click on the link below or visit us at dnsimple.com. Alright, let's get started. Once you log into the sandbox environment, you will see your dashboard with all the domains you might have registered already. On the top right, you will see an account link. Clicking on it, you will be on your account page. At the bottom of the left menu, you will see the automation link. Once we follow this link, we will see our API tokens if we have any, webhooks, applications, and develop applications. For today, we're only going to look into API tokens. So let's do that and create a new API token for our sample code. We click on New, and we're shown a form where we can name our token. This will help you in the future to know which tokens you're using where. Use names that you remember and associate easily to the applications you're working on. Let's call our token Elixir tutorial and generate it. Now we can see the token, and we are prompted to save it somewhere, as it will not be displayed afterwards again. I'm not going to close the browser window as we will need the token in a moment. I could just save it quickly in a note-taking app, but I'm not going to do that. Now that we have everything we need, we can start working on our Elixir tutorial app. Let's head over to our IDE. I'm using IntelliJ from JetBrains, but you can use any IDE you'd prefer. I've already created an empty Elixir project, and I've added the dnsimple-elixir dependency into our depths, as you can see on my mix file. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to add a simple console output saying hello dnsimple, so that we can see that everything is working and our dependencies are sorted. Okay, good. Now that we have the project all set up, we can start. I will use the same file with the hello dnsimple console output and just change it as I go along. After each run, I might comment out some code so that we don't run these operations over and over again. The first thing we want to do is to create an instance of our dnsimple client, which is our entry point to the API. We will pass in the base URL we will be using so that we point it to our sandbox environment, and our credentials. That's the token we generated on the web interface earlier. Let's go back to our browser and copy the token, and now paste it. Okay, with this, we should have all we need to interact with the sandbox environment. The first thing we're going to do is to get our account ID and store it in a variable. For this, we will be using the identity service calling whoami. Depending on which credentials you use, you will either have an account or a user object attached to the result of the operation. As we are using an account token, we will get the account ID from the account, and we're going to write it to the console for the moment so that you can see what's going on. Now that we have the account ID, we can go and check for a domain so that we can register it. Let's check one that should not be available, although we never know as we are on the sandbox environment. Anyways, let's see if google.com is available. Okay, good, it's not available. Now let's see if we can find a domain that is available so we can register it. elixirtutorial.com should be fine. Let's see. And we add the output. Okay, great. It's available. Before we continue and register this domain, we have to create a contact that is associated with this domain. When it comes to contacts, it's really important that your contact information is up to date, just in case you get contacted by ICANN, the organization that oversees domain registrations for most top-level domains. I recommend not using the email address of the domain you're currently registering, but use an email address you've been using up until now. Okay, let's create our contact. We're going to call the contact service createContact function, passing in our account ID and the attributes for our new contact. My name, my last name, not my address, nor city, in the province of, postal code, my country of residence, my email, and finally, phone number. Let's print it out so we can see the result of this operation as well. Now, with our contact created, we can register our domain. Let's just do that. For this, we're going to call the registrar endpoints register domain function and add the account ID, the domain name, and the registrant ID. That is our newly created contacts ID. Okay, our domain is now created, so we can go ahead and for the time being, just list the domains we have. I have a few domains registered already, so let's see if we can find ours. There it is, nice. Let's now add a zone record to our domain. As a simple example, I'm going to add a CNAME record to point our domain to the dnsimple blog. We're going to use the zones endpoint, passing in the account ID, the domain name, and the zone record attributes. The name blog, type CNAME, and the content blog.dnsimple.com. Remember when I said earlier that the functionality of the sandbox is limited? This is one such case. Even though we've added a CNAME record to point to blog.dnsimple.com, this will actually not work. Anyways, now that the record is created, let's list our zone records for this domain. For this, we're going to call the zones endpoint again, but this time the list zones method. Today I've given you a little glimpse of what you can do with our Elixir API client. Registering a domain, creating a contact, adding zone records, but also how to start using our sandbox environment to get you started with your domain management automation. Please do check our developer documentation to see all the endpoints and actions you can use while using dnsimple. We also have comprehensive support articles which will help you to dig deeper into what you can do with our service. I also want to point you to our dnsimple-elixir cheat sheet where you can find sample code of what we've done today and some more. Please do reach out if you need help or if you plan to use our services at support@dnsimple.com. And if you're interested, you can start using dnsimple for free, or for even more robust features, we offer a comprehensive plan for $6 a month with 2 months for free right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.